Well, who do I have with me here today?
Jim Davey.
Jim Davey. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Tom, I appreciate being here.
And what do you do, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, a couple things. I'm working part-time over at Gospel Inc., which is a community or a 501c3 that's working to help those who are homeless, particularly those who are chronically homeless in the Lakeland area, find housing. And out of housing, then we develop wraparound services to help support them and encourage them in their journey.
That's wonderful.
Get healthier, try to get to a place where they're more secure. And it's really kind of like a community-based effort because we're all on one campus. And so we have facilities there for them to stay in. And we're building right now 48 new units to help house more.
48 units, which
Yes,
is
sir.
like a one-bedroom studio for people
Yeah,
to sleep
basically
in?
apartment style, 2-floor.
Okay.
And there's two of them, 24 and 24. That's the first phase. We're going to build 24 eventually when the funds come in and more. And then we'll also build some office space and that kind of thing. Right now we don't have very much extra kind of room for anything on our 3.5 acres, I think is all we have. So we have a current plot or thumbprint, which is basically a former trailer park, basically.
Okay.
And has a few tiny homes on it or efficiencies. And the 501c3 or the ministry, Gospel Inc. purchased that property a few years ago, and since then we've been trying to help, develop relationships in the community and help people find housing.
That's wonderful. So, what drove you to start doing this? Where are you originally from, if you don't mind me asking?
That's a great
Or what brought you
question.
to Lakeland?
Yeah, well, I was a pastor for 37 years of my life.
Kind of in the same market.
Yeah. So I was working at the time at a church in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah. So I was hitting around age 60 at the time when my daughter and son-in-law, who live in Lakeland,
Oh,
have-
you had a connection already.
yeah, who had 3 boys, and she continued to talk to us almost every week about, when are you going to move here? We could use your help.
Were there grandkids?
Yeah. So eventually, we felt like that was the right move and that God was in it, and so we came. And she also, since then, they're going to be adopting another young boy, so they have 4.
Wow.
So we have quite a bit with them. In fact, we'll have them tonight, overnight, hanging out.
That's what you work for all your life,
Yeah.
to be able to spend.
So yeah, my wife's still working as a nurse here in town in private duty, and so yeah, that's what drove us here initially, and then from there things started opening up.
That's right. When you plant your seed here,
Right.
it starts to grow and your network grows and all that.
Yes.
So what's the difference in the weather between Phoenix and Lakeland? I'm curious.
Well, it's fully different in terms of dry heat versus humidity. Here in Florida, obviously, the humidity is what it is. I'm not a big fan of Florida when I first moved here, and I was like, I'd like to visit, but whew.
I've been here almost 30 years. I'm still not a fan. The only thing wrong I found was we need a dome.
Yeah.
All we need is a dome, and Florida would be okay.
Yeah, we laugh about, what's not to like? Hurricanes, huge alligators, and humidity.
There you go.
With 3H, we need to need another 4 to make 4H. But we love the ocean, obviously, but, in Phoenix, we had the valley, we have hills and mountains around us, and
It was cooler weather.
not cooler. In the wintertime, it's a little cooler because of the desert kind of scenario in the mornings in particular. But it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah, see, I've never lived. I'm originally from Cincinnati area, and the humidity there is just as worse as it is here.
Yeah.
I've never not experienced the humidity. So I went to California once for a week.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell there was a difference that quick anyway.
Yeah.
But humidity, I've always hated it.
Yeah, we live in the Midwest in Michigan, Indiana, so we understand humidity, but it feels different here. It feels, because the heat or the temperatures gets a little higher here than in some of the other places.
Okay.
And but we love the beach, so we'll go over there occasionally and get our respite. My wife was raised in South Florida, so
Okay.
she still has family here too, so that's a great connection for us. So yeah, we're supposed to be here in Florida, but we often ask why.
Yeah.
Those grandkids.
That's a cat.
And the kids and everything that help us kind of stay funded here. So it's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
as I age, every day you see yourself in the mirror, and you're looking, I'm starting to see all these spots,
Those
I'm like,
spots, yeah.
uh-oh, is that age or is it the sun that I've been in all my life?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a sports kid and played in the sun all the time.
I have a yearly appointment with my dermatologist to check those things out every year now, since we moved here.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned, over there at the land.
Yeah.
That you have sponsors and funding come in.
Yes.
Who are some of the people that, in the community that fund you, if you don't mind?
Well, there's some large givers, obviously. We have some churches that support us, individuals from those places, people that have come and just believe in the mission that we have here. I don't know, some of the big names are probably ones that are helping other not-for-profits here in town. Places, that you've probably have heard of, like
Sure.
Calvin House and
Right.
Lighthouse and those missions and outreaches, or Salvation Army, or Dream Center. Those, there's just some folks that just have been blessed.
They've got the resources
and they can help various places. But there, anyone, we have connections every week of somebody that runs across us and has a heart for the homeless or heart for the poor and wants to do something with that. I have resources, what can I do? So we'll have some people come and give money, but some come and give time.
Absolutely, just as important.
Yeah, and so we'll have there's a group right now that's there at campus helping with the Serve Day, just doing different things on the campus, trying to beautify it, bringing breakfast and lunch for the residents. We'll have a group coming in from Gray City Church on Saturday to help serve and in different ways, trying to make a difference there. Tonight every Thursday night we have a community meal, and different people in the community volunteer to bring the food.
Okay.
And so that's a really cool.
And you guys cook it and all that? You guys have commercial kitchen and all that?
No, we don't have any of that, so I have to bring it all in. And so everybody donates the food, and we just have warming dishes there, or they just bring their crock pots and put them out there and make it happen. It varies from week to week how that looks, but
Sure.
We have it every week.
But every week there are, and unfortunately, I don't know, but this is from my point of view, the homeless are increasing.
Yeah.
It's going the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of reasons why that's occurring, but some of the folks we deal with will not be able to exist on their own without something like a community like ours to support them.
I see it regularly.
Yeah, and they have to contribute to the rent, so it's not like a totally free ride. We want them to be supportive of what we're doing there in terms of.
And they're all
living
different stages.
Exactly, totally different. We even have a work for rent program that helps them.
Oh, wow.
So for some of them that's better for them, because getting a job is challenging at times. Some they
all got their records and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, some
Physical limitations.
Yes, and some disabilities, like we were talking about earlier, mental health issues or addiction issues. So we work in the gamut of all those folks, and the cool thing is we are now still making connections with others in the community. We're making a list now for the next 48 who are going to be coming.
Oh, okay.
Because these are primarily, we work with, I would call them single adults. Our goal is not, our kind of makeup is not great for families necessarily. So we're really focused more on single adults who want to come and who are on the streets right now. And they have to have been on the street for at least a year in the Lakeland area, in the Polk County area. And that qualifies them. And then we start to work with them to see if this is going to work or not.
Where they can fit in the program.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to the opening, which should happen, we hope, if construction
There's always
things
delays.
happen right now correctly, January of next year.
For the second or third?
Just for the 48 units that
The
we're.
48 units in
And the
January.
next one will start hopefully as soon as possible, and as soon as the funds come in, we'll start the next 24 units. So we think we're pretty topped off with our current property at around 72.
Okay.
Hopefully, some other property will open up and we'll continue to
That's right.
help make that happen, but.
Unfortunately, because again, from my point of view, you're gonna have the need.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, you're gonna have the need.
Yeah.
Because it's still, I don't know if it's, drugs, just the whole gamut of societal issues.
Well, a lot of them, I mean, some of them have been through some very traumatic events from their
Yeah, I didn't even
past.
consider that.
And so, I mean, I have a guy that's there that's doing wonderful, but he grew up in the foster care system, for instance. And so that kind of created this avenue where he became homeless and then he had to get some support. But he's doing great and helping us in lots of ways. He's helped tends our garden.
Oh, wow.
It makes it happen so that we
Can you share his name?
provide food. Razor is his name. Razor.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Razor's a great guy. We have a lot of guys like that, though, that are really doing well. We're just really, really super excited about progress they're making. Again, they're seeing that as their family, their community. You know, and my role is to come in and help develop the spiritual aspect of that.
Okay, yeah, based on your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
pastor.
So I'm their campus pastor / chaplain, and so we work on that area and do Bible studies and prayer times and worship nights and basically, though, I call myself the walk around pastor. I just
I've
walk
seen some
around.
videos of baptisms.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
I've
some
seen-
baptisms on Easter. That was awesome. That was really encouraging. But most of my ministry is just walking around, hanging out, sometimes praying for somebody that's
Sure.
going through a tough time. And so you just never know what you're going to get.
That's
Every day is something new.
And anytime you're just feeling down, you know that a spiritual person will bring you up.
Yeah.
At any time.
Well, they bring me up too. I mean, I feel like I tell them all the time. I feel honored just to be a part of this experience here. I don't feel like I feel like I'm getting in more than I receive almost every day I'm there, just from interactions with the folks and on their hearts. And now we're starting to get connections with folks that are still in the streets or coming around and obviously hoping they might be get a space sometime in the future. But also they come in for Bible study, they come in for a community meal or whatever might be the case. And we say, come on in. You know?
That's the beauty of freedom here, man.
Yeah.
You can go, choose your.
Yeah, so we have a lot of connections with people in the community and also try to stay good connections with places like Calvin and like,
Yeah, Lakeland is just incredible. I've noticed, and I've spoken with people who work for some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Lakeland has 4, 5, 6, a big nice support group where everybody communicates with each other.
Yeah.
If an issue comes up, they get together and help with the issues.
We're trying. I mean, I think there's always can be better communication, obviously. It is what it is. And we try to develop good relationships with the law enforcement too, because our folks are going to have some issues sometimes and we may have to Baker Act somebody. And that's a law enforcement issue. They come and they'll take something. We want to keep good relationships so that they understand our people and how vulnerable they are, right? We don't want them coming in because a lot of them
sometimes you're not on the right.
They get freaked out by that kind of stuff, right? And so, or the hospital, we have to keep communication with the hospital, help them understand our population. They're not gonna, if you come down hard on them, they're gonna really just shrink back and they're just gonna retaliate because they don't know any better. That's just how they're,
That's very, very
part of the past. So we're a lot of sensitivity training and different things going on the job, just kind of like, hey guys.
Never ending.
Yeah,
Never.
definitely.
Well, I can tell you, I firmly believe that the credits are being accumulated with the good Lord.
Yeah.
I
Well,
firmly believe, because I'm doing it myself.
yeah. Well, I think that, again, back to the community here, I just, it's what I think they've told me that Lakeland's about 130,000. I think
Yeah.
that's correct. And what Polk County is probably closer to 800,000.
Lakeland Electric supports 220,000. They got 220,000 customers. There's between 8 and 9 million people between Tampa and Orlando.
Yeah, wow.
8 and 9 million. And so Polk County is over 200.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of folks, and they're going to come with a lot of different needs. And Lakeland has, it may not be a big city like Tampa or like Orlando or like Miami-Dade or any of those places.
Well, we are climbing. I think they recently said we're the fastest growing. The fastest in the country.
I know. I heard that too. Yeah.
My goodness.
And Bonnet Springs Park got voted the best
That's
park in the
right.
U.S.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing, isn't it?
What are the chances
Yeah.
that little Donnie Burns from Hamilton, Ohio ends up in the #1? I'm like, holy Toledo.
It's crazy.
It's divine.
That's one of the things that I love about Bonnet Springs, but I also love it about what we do at Gospel Village. Is we have like I call it a repurpose studio. So
Okay.
people will donate things like old ties.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
they'll take those old ties and they'll help the ladies, particularly ladies. We haven't got a lot of men doing it, to knit or to crochet or whatever might be the case, and make like a scarf or make an
Sure.
apron, like any of those things out of these donations of material. That could be just old ties or
That's right.
old dresses, old skirts, or repurposed. That's what I feel like about Bonnet. You know, the beauty of it, I was just here this morning, so that's why I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
It's a repurposed, right? It was a real.
I remember.
Or now
I remember
it's-
going over Memorial Boulevard every day, looking over there and seeing all those trains and
That's
tracks.
amazing.
I
love it.
remember.
I
Oh
love it.
yeah.
It's one of the reasons I think for us, it's one of those things that solidified, yeah, we're supposed to be here. In addition to finding Gospel Village and Cohatch and a few other things that were involved.
People
in
that
our
you
church.
meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because initially I was like, I don't want to be here late. Sorry. God, I mean, it just grows on you. It grows on you. You start to say, okay.
I'll tell you a real quick story. Married to my wife, I don't know, 10, 15 years, still not have bought a house.
Yeah.
She's from Plant City, right next door.
All right.
We looked for 6 months for a house in Plant City because I love Plant City. I wanted to live in it. We put a bid on 2 different houses, didn't get either one. And the whole 6 months, because she was tired of Plant City, Diane, let's go to Lakeland. Let's go. Babe, I don't want to go to Lakeland. I don't want to go to Lakeland. True story to this day. She says, after 6 months, after the second house we got turned down for, I said, fine, I'll come to Lakeland. The day we came to Lakeland, drive right over Memorial Boulevard when we seen all the trains and the
Yeah.
railroad tracks at Bonnet
Yeah.
Springs, right up to Lake Parker. We turned left, turned right, and there is a sign in the yard that said for sale by owner. I was
Wow.
like, walked up, knocked on the door and said, hey, can we see your house? Sure. I said, we want to buy your house. We drove over to Office Depot,
Right.
bought a contract, signed the contract right then and there. I think we're the last people in our neighborhood to buy a house from under $99,500.
Wow.
We bought it right then and there. I'm not supposed to be in Lakeland. I didn't want to be in Lakeland.
You want to be in Lakeland.
And now I have this name that says I am Lakeland. That's
Yeah,
divine. It's
that's
not me.
amazing.
I'm an instrument,
It's pretty
man.
amazing. We had a similar story because I was working when we first got here over in Tampa, downtown Tampa,
Okay.
at the Guardian Ad Litem office. I don't know if you've heard of Guardian Ad Litem, but we work in the foster care system.
Okay.
I still volunteer in the Guardian Ad Litem because that's basically our role is to best interest for children in the system.
Okay.
You have different people, different roles, and our role is to only represent the best interest for the children.
Of course.
Not the parents, not what the system says, but what is best for these kids. And that's what we do. And I worked there in Tampa, so I wanted to move between Tampa and, Lakeland.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
My wife was working at Watson Clinic at the time when we first got here. I'm like, okay, let's, and then we found a place. And I kid you not, we had this place, we already had the down payment on it. We were like that last day before you lose your money in
If you
your
don't
effort.
take the deal.
Exactly. And at that last minute, because this was going to be a fixer-upper kind of house, it just felt wrong for so many reasons. And we dropped out, and 2 days later, we found the house we're living in right now. And get this, when we went, this is a neighborhood, we had 4 houses that our real estate person was helping us look at. She was from Tampa, and for some reason, whatever weird thing happened, none of those homes we were able to get in that day. Her coding didn't work to get the keys to get in the house. And she set it up. Except for the last house. And the only reason we got in there is because the owner was inside his kitchen looking at plans to put a new roof on his house. And that's the house we got. And we had a new roof when we moved in.
Oh, so they still had it done before.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
See,
you talk about.
you can't make that
No,
up.
you
You
can't.
know it's divine. You
Yeah.
know it's divine.
Exactly. I knew it was like, okay, we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
All right, I get it. Don't have to hit me with a 2x4 anymore. I got it. We're
No
supposed to
matter,
be here.
not only could I not imagine it, okay,
Mhm.
but it's still hard to believe even after it happened.
Oh, yeah.
It's still, I'm like, it's mind-boggling.
Right. When you come from a place like I came from, Phoenix, 4.5 million people, you're kind of used to a bigger
Okay.
municipality, maybe.
Big one, yeah.
But then the more I'm here, the more I realize, oh wow, we're just, what's the difference between Tampa, Orlando, Lakeland? We're
Yeah,
right there. in the
that's
middle
right,
of it all.
dude. That's the beauty of it. Like I said, between Tampa and Orlando, there's 9 million people, and I got 30 minutes, 45 minutes, either
Mhm.
way.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's prima, and that's why everybody's coming. It's primo.
Makes a difference.
We'll talk about this again 10 years from now, and we'll be like, oh no, what the hell were we thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't I get out when I could?
That might be true.
Yeah, you're
That might
right.
be true. Yeah, exactly.
Well, how can people get in touch with you, Jim?
Wow, that's a great question. I haven't had that. asked
Facebook?
before. Yeah, I mean, if you go right on, I think the best way to go and learn more about what we're doing is just gospelinc.org. Go there.
Gospelinc.org.
That's
Okay.
it. If you go right there, I'm one of the staff members. You'll see my picture somewhere in there, hopefully way down on the sheet, so you don't have to look at it too long. But then you'll see a lot about our ministry and what we're trying to do here in the city, and so I would think that's the best way to get a hold of
Okay.
us. But obviously, I'm here at Cohatch. I'm a member of Cohatch, so come on over, man.
Yeah, I wanna thank
Cohatch is a great
Cohatch.
place. It's a great place to connect and a great place to meet people.
Yeah,
So come on over.
networking, and they have workshops that go on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have this beautiful podcast room. Thank you, Coach, for letting me use it.
It's awesome. It's an awesome place, and Dana does a great job as kind of the coordinator for the
Yeah.
space. So I'd
And they're
say that's a
growing
great
too.
way.
They got Tampa, Tarpon, they're still growing.
Oh yeah. It's great office workspace. So in a great way, I believe it's a great way to connect. So right downtown.
Where have they been all our lives?
Yeah.
If we can do it again.
Yeah.
Jim, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Don.
God bless.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate